ekī-bhāvena va siddhir nānā-bhāvena va yayoḥ na vidyate tayoḥ siddhiḥ kathaṁ khalu vidyate.
Ekī-bhāvena va siddhir nānā-bhāvena va yayoḥ na vidyate tayoḥ siddhiḥ kathaṁ khalu vidyate. MMK chapter 2 verse 21. Where there is no establishment of two parties as identical or as different, how on earth can there be establishment of those two? So this is the conclusion of a subgroup of 4 verses, which is can be read as a commentary on the 2 negations in the dedicatory verses anekartam and nānā-bhāvena. Eka means one, nana means various or diverse. So as I was thinking about this verse, it occurred to me it would have been good to translate anekartam and nānā-bhāvena in the dedicatory verses as beyond identity, beyond diversity, given that identity politics and diversity are such issues. The point that Nagarjuna is pointing beyond that kind of division, that kind of conflict, might be relevant. Anekartam and nānā-bhāvena. Eka one, nana various, artam meaning. So ekartam, one meaning, identity. Nānā-bhāvena, various meanings, diversity. So in this verse we have ekī-bhāvena and nānā-bhāvena. If you look in the dictionary for nānā-bhāva as an adjective, it means various, manifold. So the instrumental nānā-bhāvena, sometimes instrumental works like an adverb. So variously, or as different, I've translated as different. And ekī-bhāva means like oneness of existing thing. Bhava means existence or an existing thing. So ekī-bhāvena means existing as one or identical. So ekī-bhāvena, instrumental, as identical. So the grammar is a little difficult to understand because it's centered on yayoḥ, means of which two, and tayoḥ, which means of those two. So ya and ta, correlatives, of which, those, of those. So I've translated as where. And siddhir means establishment, and establishment is particularly, it signals in MMK establishment of a thing as a thing unto itself. So establishment is generally used in connection with self-existence. In people who negate emptiness and see things as inherently real, they talk about things being established. An established thing is a self-existing thing, something which is real unto itself. So, where there is no establishment of two parties, so of two parties, yayoḥ, there is no establishment. There is no is a translation of vidyate, usually translated as is not found, but in this verse is not found is a bit clumsy, so I've translated vidyate, there is no. So there is no establishment. Siddhir, siddhi is nominative singular feminine. Siddhiḥ vidyate. There is no establishment, yayoḥ, of which two, ekī-bhāvena va, as identical, or, so va, the two vas are mean or and or, so either or. Ekī-bhāvena va, either as identical, nānā-bhāvena va, or as different. So where there is no establishment of two parties, siddhiḥ yayoḥ vidyate, as identical, ekī-bhāvena va, or as different, nānā-bhāvena va. So the first part, the first clause, if you like, goes up to the vidyate in the third pada. Ekī-bhāvena va siddhir, nānā-bhāvena va yayoḥ vidyate. There is no establishment, vidyate, of two which, yayoḥ, I've translated of two parties, as identical, ekī-bhāvena, or as different, nānā-bhāvena. Then the question, how on earth, kathaṁ, how? Kathaṁ nu, so nu lays stress on the preceding word, especially a word like kathaṁ, question word, and in that case it often appears with khalu, as in this case. So kathaṁ nu khalu, how on earth can siddhiḥ, establishment, vidyate, is found. So siddhiḥ kathaṁ nu khalu vidyate, how on earth can establishment be found, tayoḥ, of those two. Tayoḥ siddhiḥ kathaṁ nu khalu vidyate. How on earth can there be establishment of those two? So if we translate it very literally, of which two, yayoḥ, establishment is not found, siddhiḥ vidyate, as identical, ekī-bhāvena, or as different, nānā-bhāvena. How on earth, kathaṁ nu khalu, is establishment, siddhiḥ, of those two, tayoḥ, found, vidyate. So in more idiomatic English, where there is no establishment of two parties as identical or as different, how on earth can there be establishment of those two? So this conclusion is drawn from the previous analysis of agent and action, one who acts and the action, or goer and going. So in the previous verses he's clarified that goer and going are, neither of them is established, as they're not established as the same, and neither are they different. So in that case, how can going and the goer be established at all? There's no separate establishment as a thing unto itself as a goer, and there's no separate establishment as a thing unto itself as going. So in this verse, he's kind of taking that logic and extending the analysis to any establishment of any two parties that are thought to be identical or different. So you could say, let's say Soto Zen and Rinzai Zen. Are they the same thing? They're both Japanese Zen Buddhism, or are they different? People like to discuss the different approaches. So in that case, if they can't be established as identical or different, then the rhetorical question is, how can there be establishment of those two? So there is no such thing as Soto Zen. There's no such thing as Rinzai Zen. There's no such thing as the Carrington School of Alexander Technique, and there's no such thing as the McDonald School of Alexander Technique. You can see how those things evolve out of people's ignorance, but on the basis of emptiness, there can't be establishment of two parties like that. And there again, we had Jeremy Corbyn's New Year's message yesterday, I noticed on Twitter, where he's saying, let's rebuild a united Britain. And how are we going to rebuild a united Britain, Jeremy, according to your thinking? By taking sides with the many against the privileged few. So good luck, Jeremy, with sorting out who's the privileged few and who's the many. I say that on the basis of my experience going to the posh school in Birmingham, where people on the bus see me in my King Edward School uniform. I sensed a certain resentment towards the privileged few. But from where I sat, I didn't feel like my life was so privileged, in fact. So yeah, if you want a civil war against the privileged few, in which you want everybody to take sides with the many against the privileged few, good luck with sorting out exactly who the privileged few are. It's like people on the left talk about the elite, and that by that they mean the let's say investment bankers. The bankers are the privileged few, the elite. But if you among people on the right, the privileged elite is like the Guardian journalists and neo-Marxist university professors. They're the liberal elite. But when you actually think about it on the basis of emptiness, how on earth can there be establishment of those two elites? Only on the basis of ignorance, when we conceive of separate, non-empty things, or in this case I've translated parties in square brackets. Dependent arising in the dedicatory verses is described, the teaching of dependent arising is described as anekartam ananartam, and I'm suggesting it's beyond identity, beyond diversity. Ekī-bhāvena va siddhir, nānā-bhāvena va yayoḥ, vidyate tayoḥ siddhiḥ, kathaṁ khalu vidyate. Where there is no establishment of two parties as identical or as different, how on earth can there be establishment of those two?
ekī-bhāvena va siddhir, nānā-bhāvena va yayoḥ, vidyate tayoḥ siddhiḥ, kathaṁ khalu vidyate.